What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, turn on post notifications, comment down below for the wholesome algorithm, and check out my merch. This is one of the designs that says wholesome. Y'all know we are all about the wholesome gang. Today we are doing a classic Instagram Q&A. Today we have a cute little beverage, Club Home, going up. We got some hibiscus flowers in there, the straw size. So grab a beverage, grab a snack, and let's dig in and see what the people want to know. Okay, so first question, how do you get motivated working from home? I feel like I've made a few videos about specifically this subject, but kind of to sum it up, I guess, personally, it's just who I am. I've always been very independent, and it's very easy for me to typically get things done and stay organized. The last couple of years of high school, I took a few online classes, and it was just so easy for me to create my own structure. Not that I thrive well without structure, but I can easily make my own structure. As far as motivation though, because we all definitely have days where it's harder than others to stay on top of everything. I actually saw this TikTok, and I talked about it once on here before, but this girl said, you know, if you think of things as external, like I have to do this, it feels very like forced and like it's squeezing you and like, oh my god. But if you think of things as coming from the inside out, like I will feel so accomplished after doing this, or I will feel so at ease knowing I can check this off my to-do list or get this done, that like directly benefits you and your energy and mood and how you feel. So that's kind of a hack. Look at things that you have to do in a different way, like from a different perspective. And y'all know the classic force yourself method. But it kind of makes me rethink the force yourself method, because the force yourself method is like forcing yourself to do this thing that's like, but if you're like, I will feel so much better after doing this. Different energy, you know? Someone asks, would you ever move to a different country? I mean, obviously there's so many things wrong with the United States, but therefore, like the United States just controls so much of the world. So it's like anywhere you go, you're gonna be affected by that. Like whether it's a little bit or a lot. Also, on a more personal note, I just feel like I haven't really been to enough different countries to say like, yeah, I want to live there. Yeah, okay, it's like, oh my god, I love Paris, I want to go back, I'd love to live there for a year. But it's not so serious to where I'm like, oh my god, I like want to do that in my life. I don't know. Sure, why not? But it's not like, yeah, I've been planning that. You know what I mean? Dude, also, like, I don't know if this is me being too, like, sensitive, but it kind of annoys me when people are like, oh, like, what's our plan for moving out of the US? Especially in regards to like when Trump was president and all the crazy shit that was happening, especially at the end. Like people are like, oh, let's plan our escape. And it's like, I don't know, for some reason that just like bothers me so much. Like I hate it. Like what about people who can afford I don't know. And I know people say it as a joke, but it's just like, let's like focus on solving the problems instead of running away from them, okay? With that being said though, I want to go back to specifically Paris so bad. I feel like you just have a certain feeling when you're certain places, and it just hits different. Like I went to Berlin, you know, and it was cool, you know, it's different, it's cool. But when I was in Paris, like I just, oh, damn it, Dominique, I'm coming for you. How do you avoid feeling too lonely when living alone? This is something I've definitely talked about a lot as well. Something I've experienced during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I would never really get lonely because I would go out, you know, I would see my friends way more. We're social creatures, so it's so normal to feel lonely. Like, don't feel like you're like a failure if you're experiencing loneliness. I feel like there's this certain vibe for lack of a better term, promoted on the internet and in a lot of music, honestly, that's like, oh, fuck it, I don't need anyone, I just need my money, I don't need love, I just need myself, and it's really just me, myself, and all my millions. And that's just like really harmful. I know it's like, okay, this is not reality, this is a tweet or this is a lyric or whatever, but a lot of that can go in our subconscious, and I feel like we can shame ourselves for experiencing loneliness or like missing an ex or wanting the company of someone, even in a platonic way. It's just so natural for us to experience that when we are feeling alone and like lonely. So what I do to prevent it, I sleep with a lot of pillows. So I'll like hug my pillows at night. I don't have like a weighted blanket, but I have a lot of blankets. So, I mean, that can like trick your brain. If I can't see a friend, I will FaceTime. I FaceTime my family like almost every day. This is like kind of, I don't know if like anyone's gonna bully me, but watching Jersey Shore, and these days I'm watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation. It got put on Hulu, so now I can watch that without the ads. But they're like, you know, going out, and it's like I'm kind of living vicariously through them. They're living in a house, you know, with a bunch of roommates in every fucking season. So, and I know some of you guys say watching my vlogs help. I feel the same. Like I watch vlogs, I watch shows, I watch Jersey Shore. But I also read something that said your brain like doesn't know when something's fake. So for example, if you're watching a horror movie, your blood pressure goes up, you start sweating, you get scared, your heart's racing. It's like, Is my body thinking I'm at the club right now? Because I certainly feel like it. Side note, like, I get when people are shaming people for like going to a packed club during a pandemic. Yes, agree 100%. But I hate when people are like, people just care so much about going to clubs and bars. Y'all have not experienced a fun time then, because listen, I love going to a bar. Oh my god, I love the club. Sometimes it depends, but I miss that so much. What's your favorite snack and what's your favorite mood booster this month? Dude, I've been getting a few questions recently about my favorite snacks. I feel like I really don't snack much these days. I feel like, and I've said this, so let me know if you can relate. Okay, like, I love eating and I love food, but sometimes, especially throughout the work week, it's like I have stuff to do, and it's not like I like forget to eat or whatever. I eat, I make time for all my meals throughout the day, but it's like annoying. I don't know, something when a TBT says they're proud of your merch. Thanks, buy some. This just literally happened in real time. Okay, what was I saying? Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I feel like being hungry interrupts the like flow of my day. So with that being said, I feel like I eat like breakfast, and then I eat like a lunch, usually leftovers, and then I feel like dinner is the time where I'm like enjoying my food and like lounging and like eating, like, because I have to eat, but also like more for pleasure. And my snack time is like after dinner, you know, when I'm watching TV, I don't have any more work to do. It's like my chill lounge time. And I know people, I mean, maybe not anymore, because a lot more people have worked from home. But I feel like there was like this thing where people thought that if you work from home, you like don't do anything. I mean, maybe if you like work for a company, you can like scam a little bit more and like also watch Netflix. I don't know, but I be busy during the day, you know? So my snacks I do like at night are like popcorn or ice cream, like some kind of vegan ice cream or like cookie. I really like fruit, but I usually have fruit at breakfast. Like, I don't usually crave fruit at night because I feel like it's more of like a hydration thing when I first wake up. Not because like, oh, there's sugar in fruit. Like, bitch, I'll eat ice cream at night, but not necessarily fruit. I like Takis. I don't really have them that much just because I like forget, but that was a very long explanation. But let me know if you relate. I feel like I can't like enjoy my food as much throughout the day because it's like, ugh, that is very American of me. And my favorite mood booster, I don't know if this is new. It's not new. Y'all gonna be mad. Just stretching, like stretching a lot, making time every day to do that. But I feel like I've kind of been doing that. This morning, I started to do this little cardio workout, and it was a 30-minute workout, so I was like, okay. And then halfway through, I was just like, my fucking sinuses were bothering me, and I just felt like hungry and tired and like annoyed, so I was like, let me stop. So I just stretched, did like some yoga, stretching, whatever, and I felt so much better after. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Favorite Studio Ghibli film and your favorite character in it? Dude, probably my top 3 favorite are Princess Mononoke, Totoro, and Spirited Away, and Kiki's Delivery Service. Okay, 4. But those are the ones that I really grew up with. We also watched like Nausicaa, Porco Rosso, Pompoko. I really like Pompoko, but I don't think it's Miyazaki, so it's like the vibes are a little different, but I like that one. Grave of the Fireflies, bitch. Depression Hour. I would have to say Princess Mononoke. That movie still gives me chills. Like, I've seen it so much since I was a little kid, and it's still just like gives me chills. So let me know what your favorite is, and if you've never seen them, you definitely should. They're on HBO Max, and you can also probably like find them somewhere, honestly. Have you ever tried the birth control pill? I have not. I feel like around the age, like in high school, when a bunch of my friends started going on birth control, I just like wasn't, I don't know, I feel like I was always like a little late to everything, so I just like never went on it. But I will say that I really hate, and me and my friend were just talking about this, but I hate how people try to demonize it. This whole natural movement, I feel like can be so, natural movement, I don't know if that's what you want to call it, but you know, people who are all for alternative medicine and more natural medicine and remedies and whatever, a lot of that can be so helpful and beneficial, and I think there is a lot to be said about the pharmaceutical industry and how like weird it is, to put it lightly. Sometimes it's like medication works, okay? People need birth control. It works for them, or they need it for some kind of other medical reason, or they just like, it's fine, like they want to use it. I just hate when people like shame people or scare people into not using it. I just think that's so damaging, and it's like, just because you don't agree with something or it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it applies to everyone. With that being said, I think you should always do your research on like both sides. So if you're thinking about going on it, like look at the pros and the cons, but at the end of the day, make a decision for yourself and not, you know, this forum on whatever website that's like, oh, it is just horrible and unnatural and therefore you are, you know, I don't know, whatever, I don't even know what they say. And same for like medication. I feel like there's so much stigma around taking medication for like, especially for mental health. And I just feel like if it works for you, it works for you. If you want to do that, if you want to explore that, you should go for it. Of course, look at the pros and the cons, make an educated decision for yourself and your own health and well-being, but you can't let other people's opinions like determine your own opinion and your own experience. I'm gonna be honest, I made this drink in my shaker because these cups are just so small. If you could see any artist at a concert, live or dead, who would it be? Honestly, not to be like basic, dude, I remember there was like a Party Next Door concert in Seattle and like somehow I did not hear about it. This was like in 2013, right when I was like starting to get into him. I think that's when his first little EP dropped and I missed it and I always regret that. But I would probably have to say like Drake. Not that I necessarily think, you know, Drake would be the best show or like, oh my god, like I feel like there's probably some artists I would see live and like their just voice and like you go because they're so like talented live. I don't really know if that's the case, but I just feel like the experience of like going with my friends and like knowing the words to every song, like I just feel like that would be really fun. Like I saw The Weeknd at a festival in 2015 and that was really cool just because I like knew so many of the words, especially back then. I feel like you go to artists for like different reasons, so I can just imagine, especially right now when I've been deprived of like human contact, I can just imagine going there with my besties and just like having so much fun, like the experience as a whole. Not to be basic, that's like the most basic answer ever, but do you think marriage is a scam and do you plan on getting married? I feel like, you know, a lot of women are pressured into getting married whether they realize it or not. Ultimately, men well, I know there's been studies done, men benefit more from marriage than women. Women in marriages actually die earlier. Men in marriages die later than if they hadn't gotten married. Society or whatever, patriarchy wants us to feel worthless if we're not married by a certain age or if we're still single after a certain age, as if our only worth is, you know, when we're associated with a man or tied down to a man. So I feel like for myself and what I try to talk about in my videos and podcasts is, you know, understanding these concepts and learning about them and therefore, again, making decisions based on what is actually the best for us and not because we feel like fear of being alone or fear that we'll be undesirable after a certain age. We're taught just so much that our looks are the only thing that matter, and if we can like cook and clean and bear children, and if we can't do any of those things, if we're not like beautiful by society's standards, if we get old, God forbid, we're just gonna get shamed for it. And like, oh my god, nobody wants to be a whore and nobody wants to be an old maid. Oh my god, a crazy cat lady. So it's like, okay, let me just get married because I feel like that's what I should do. That's what my family wants me to do. No, bitch. Majority of women are happier after divorce. So I'm not saying or telling myself even like, oh, never get married. But it's like if you are going to like do it out of actual partnership and like desire to build a life together and like it just makes sense, like not out of fear or tradition or whatever other social construct that is literally entirely man-made and made up. Man-made, man. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. Oh, is it a deal breaker if your partner never wants to get married? I feel like it kind of be a red flag. I'd be like, do you have an avoidant attachment style? Because for a man to say that, like men literally benefit from marriage. So something else is definitely going on and they probably have commitment issues. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I'll be 32, which is crazy because I really don't feel like that's that old. So it really puts in perspective how young I am. But I literally have no idea and I hate this question and it's like, who can never be sure, you know? No tea, no shade to the person that asks this question, but it's just like when someone asks me that, it's like, ew, like I don't know, my life has changed so much in like the past 5 years or 4 years or even 2 years, so I don't even know, like I can't even begin to understand. Hopefully it's not a pandemic by then. Opinions on Taurus women. I'm a Taurus rising, so I feel like I relate, definitely. I can think of a few that I know personally and love them. So beautiful, so cute. Taurus men, I'm not really like interested, like they're just kind of like I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Gotta stop craving junk food. I know, at least for me, I crave whatever I consistently eat. Like last year, I would never have any kind of sweetness in my coffee. Like it was always disgusting to me. This year, well, maybe like 2020 and 2021, I have been like, ooh, adding flavors to my coffee and like not crazy, but you know, just like, ooh, and now it's like I prefer that. So it's like whenever you make a habit, your palate, your taste buds are gonna like adjust to that. So you low-key have to just like force yourself to eat healthy, and over time the craving will end. Especially sugar, it's like literally an addiction. Someone asked about my Myers-Brigg type. I still have not taken this updated. I took it in 2016 when I was fucking 17 years old, and I got ESFP, I think, whichever the entertainer is. But I feel like that is not really accurate anymore, so I need to retake it. So thanks for the reminder. Maybe I'll take it like and share on a podcast, but yeah. Last question, how to practice self-love and self-care without being a selfish bitch. I feel like, especially as a woman in this society, you know, we're expected to put everyone else's needs before our own. We aren't expected to speak up for ourselves, say what we want. Like, it's just always like, oh my god, she's so high maintenance, she's such a bitch, she's like just too much, she's selfish. When you do speak up for yourself and set boundaries or ask for what you need, voice your needs, whatever, it can feel very uncomfortable and like you are being a bitch or that you are being selfish. Sometimes it can feel that way, but sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm not used to expressing this, or people aren't used to seeing me or hearing me express this. But you just have to push past that, and sometimes it just honestly, like, you're gonna feel like a selfish bitch. But I would rather be perceived as that or feel like that and stick up for myself and respect myself and value and honor myself and my boundaries than like be seen as like, oh, so nice. I just did a whole podcast on this, so listen to that. It's called something like being respected or being liked. I would rather be respected and people know my worth and I know my worth and be seen as a selfish bitch than to be seen as just like, oh, she's so nice, she just like is a doormat. Obviously you can be nice and still stick up for yourself. You can set boundaries and whatever in a respectful yet firm way, I believe, but especially when you're like first practicing it, it feels like you're being like the worst person ever, but you're not. And don't put LOL when you are setting a boundary. Be firm in that bitch. When your crush likes your message and doesn't reply. Okay, so that's everything I'm going to answer. As always, let me know if you have any other questions, and also definitely check out my podcast if you like to hear me talk about stuff. But yeah, it's available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everything. And also check out my merch if you haven't copped anything. Definitely be sure and do that. We have 3 different designs. Me, myself, and I. And I just love it. Like, I'm literally wearing it all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.